Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Big J Gaming, where today we're going to be getting into the top 5 features that should be added to the Walking Dead Online. So, I went through the suggestions page, I even compiled some of my own. I found 5 features that should be added to the game, in my opinion, and I decided to rank them accordingly. So, I hope you enjoy, so let's get into it. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have attachments for guns. Now, this game has a vast array of firearms at your disposal. But what I think would make the gunplay a bit more exciting for people are attachments. See, with this, as you can see with my loadout, I have a lot of assault rifles, handguns, pistols. I'd like the option to personalize them. I would like it if I could put, say, a grip on an assault rifle to reduce recoil, like a vertical grip to reduce vertical recoil, or a horizontal grip to reduce uh, sway, horizontal recoil. Or maybe a sight of my choice, a scope, perhaps for a sniper rifle, different scope, or maybe an ACOG for another gun. Either way, I just think that there should be attachments for the guns, maybe uh, extra big mags, drum mags, extended magazines, things like that. I think would make a profound difference in the game. It would encourage more customization with the firearms, and I think it would be a welcome addition. So I hope to see it in a future update, but we'll see. Coming in at number 4, we have map and navigation equipment. Now, in this game, the map itself is not particularly large, but I noticed there's a distinct lack of signs, things like that. And the map's a bit difficult to interpret from a certain perspective. And it can be hard to navigate sometimes, and you end up making navigational mistakes that would have not been made had you had something as simple as, say, a compass. And even a compass rose and a compass would be extremely helpful for navigation. Say if there's a compass rose on the map that you'd see on the billboards, and perhaps even a map that you could carry with you, and even a GPS, I think would be a welcome feature to the game, making navigation easier, especially if the map plans to expand. Maybe if there's going to be more locations added, I think it would just be better if the newer players, as well as some of the more experienced players, had the option to carry that sort of equipment with them. I think it would be a welcomed addition, and many players, I'm sure, would want it. It would be monumental. They'd be able to explore the entire part of the map and enjoy every little bit of it without having to, uh, walk around aimlessly for, hours on end. So I would hope to see it in a future update, but we'll see. Coming at number 3, we have buildables, storage, barricades, something like that. See, in this game, we already have pretty good base locations, as I've covered before. A lot of places you can go to kind of hole up, find loot, things like that. But I feel like the game would be even better suited if you could build barricades, if you could make modifications, if groups could put up cover, things like that, and we could store items. I think it would really make the base building part of most survival games a reality here. It's hard to have a survival game where one of the core survival aspects, the customization, crafting, things like that. I might as well just throw crafting in there uh, as part and parcel of what makes a survival game is kind of creating things, being able to customize. I mean, we see that with weapons already that we need that implemented, and I think people would really like it if you could build a base, if you could make modifications, build walls, if you could create storage to store loot, things like that. I think would make the faction aspect even better. I think it would be much more fun for normal players, for more competitive players. I would personally enjoy it a lot, and I think most people would as well. With the already with vehicles, things like that, being able to say make this sanctuary, build high walls on it, even higher walls, or take a place that is normally not a good base location and make it a better base location. I think that's an excellent idea. I would love to see it. Being able to build all sorts of things, lights, torches, all these things would be great for player versus player combat, even PvE, being able to keep out the dead out of a location that normally you couldn't keep them out. I think that'd be an excellent feature to add in the game. I hope it gets added, and I look forward to seeing something like that in the future. Coming in at number 2, we have increased server sizes. Now, I like this game a lot. I really do. And I really like player versus player combat. I've have a lot of fun fighting other players for dominance, for loot, and just for fun. I think that's what makes the looting up process, factions, basing, makes it all worth it. Because you have good combat with other people, and it's really enjoyable. Because the PvP aspects rather are not as expansive as say DayZ, so that alone is not as much of a challenge. But the PvP aspects are what most people would play for, and being able to do it in the most iconic locations in the Walking Dead show. So the ability to have more people in the servers, I think would be beneficial. I don't see many people in a lot of locations, and I do see the problem with this is the issue of want of loot would be a problem, which can always be adjusted with increased spawn rates or map size increase or maybe more locations. But I just think it would be better if we could have more people in the server. You could have larger scale faction battles. I think that would be epic. That would be great. I would love to make videos on that sort of thing. I would love to see it. I'd love to be a part of it. I think most people can agree that it's the player versus player combat that makes this game the most fun. So I think therefore the more that we can have and the bigger the scale of these battles would be, I think, just make the game the best it can possibly be. So making that possible, I think, should be, uh, you know, really, really in front of the developers. That should be one of the first, I guess, next things they look into when considering what to add. Whether they will is another question, but I really look forward to seeing, large-scale PvP battles in this game. I'm pretty excited for that. Coming in at number 1, we have more iconic locations: Alexandria, Kingdom, Satellite Outpost, Atlanta, etc. So, this game has a lot of very iconic locations from the Walking Dead show: Sanctuary, Prison, Woodbury, King County, the hospital, Rick woke up in, as well as Herschel's farm. And that's pretty awesome. I mean, these locations look great. They're pretty cool, pretty fun to fight in, and actually, the fact that this is a Walking Dead game that had those locations was one of the reasons I wanted to play in the first place, because I am a fan of that show. So that's why I think it would be even better to add more of those locations. Now, I understand the map is, sort of small, too small to probably add all these locations, to add all the show's locations, if that means the map grows and expands, which is not a bad idea, even if it may seem a little unrealistic. I still think more of these locations would be great for the show, or from the show. I think that it would improve, even improve the likability of the game, even if we combine all these together. Uh, I mean, even when you're near the quarry, which is the first place where the survivors of The Walking Dead live at, that area you can see an outline of the city, but you can't actually go there. It's a bit of a tease. I think it's really cool, but it would be nice if you could actually go to the city. If there was some way to go to it, or if there was more of these locations, if there were more of them, that would be awesome. I'd love to see that. I really like what this game has done as far as putting in, classic locations, and as well as, new locations for the game and all sorts of stuff. I really, really like it. Really like what the devs have done with the game. I just like to see more. I mean, it sounds like every fan of a game ever, we always want to see more. But it'd be nice. I'd really appreciate if we could have even more of these iconic locations. Freshening things up never hurt nobody, I suppose. I think most people would love to see it. I'd really like to see it myself. And combined with all these other suggestions, and the fact that while scrolling through the suggestions, I saw this a lot, either iconic locations as well as reworks to the game's mechanics and some of the other things I put on this list. But since this is my personal what I think should be added to the game out of various suggestions I found. I think this one's probably the most important. I really like the idea of being able to have, kind of like a mock savior, Alexandrian war. That'd be great. Having the kingdom, having the hilltop, and then having factions grow out of that, a competitive faction culture. It just makes the game feel more alive, and I think people really like that. It's enjoyable. Combined with the other additions, I think this would make the game even better than it already is, and it's a pretty good game. And yes, every game has its problems, but this is an excellent game, and I want to see it succeed. So those are my top five suggestions for The Walking Dead Online. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video has earned your subscription. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Much love.